Weekly live community Q&A. Last Q&A of July, the month of July, where Walker is on sabbatical. So, but we still got a pretty decent turnout. Thank you guys for showing up and being here as part of the community. We've got a great community guest for you guys today, Paul Oberly. Paul and I actually were. It's funny, we were talking about 2 weeks ago. He had booked a call, and we were talking about his where his role in his company is within side of the ecosystem. And one of the things that it was funny, a few days later, someone had said, "Hey, is anyone using this product, Mariana, in the Discord?" So, it's awesome that we're having him on today to talk about not just only supply chain AI, but, I kind of want to just start off, Paul, by asking you, what we were talking about the digital twin this week, and, we'll just dive right into it. What is the digital twin in your own words?
In my own words. So the problem is, if you asked me that question like 10 years ago, I would have given you a totally different answer. I think originally, based on my background, I thought of the digital twin as the 3D representation, the 3D digital representation of some physical object. But as I've grown and as I've gotten involved in Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence, really the digital twin for us um, is the physical process using math, using logic, using stats and figures that defines your manufacturing or your enterprise. So the digital twin in the manufacturing environment is actually the end-to-end process of your production line in data. The digital twin for supply chain would be the end-to-end process, your end-to-end supply chain in the enterprise. So
Okay.
yeah. Does that make sense?
That does. But why is it so hard for people to wrap their head around that? Like, what is it that makes it hard to comprehend? Why is it a transformation, a paradigm shift in industry? What makes it different than let's say like a continuous improvement of the way we used to do things? What makes it that shift,
Yeah, so I am also confused by why it's different, because if you really think about it, when we moved from writing letters to each other to writing emails, that was a digital transformation. And email is a digital twin of writing. So, I mean, that's it. I think it should be obvious, but if it's not, maybe the reason why it's not obvious is because there's so many different perspectives on what the digital twin is based upon where your subject matter expertise comes from. Again, like my background's in metrology. So originally I was like super focused on lasers and cameras and then later on robots. How do we capture the physical geometry of an object and then tell you if that product you made is good or bad?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that explains.
Yeah, and to us, in that industry, the digital twin is a three-dimensional picture of that object. But if you go a step further, the digital twin of that object is the physical form, shape, geometry, along with the kinematics, along with the material composition, and also the statics and stress characteristics of the object. So
awesome.
And I'm just talking about geometry right now.
Yeah, no, but that explains why, from where your background is, why your what you initially thought was a digital twin was more from the physical representation of an object, where we come from it. In a lot of our videos, we come from the not just the information, like the current state of your business, which includes future state. That's something that people don't also seem to have a hard time to wrap their head around. The future state is a prediction based on the current state, but we come at it from more of like the information infrastructure portion of it. But in my mind, there's really only one digital twin. You can't have a bunch of different ones. There's really just one, which is your business, right?
Absolutely.
We drive our digital twins, whether it's a 3D model, whether it's a single pane of glass for your enterprise. We drive that from the unified namespace. So but someone said earlier like that they kind of misunderstood what the unified namespace was, and then they're like, oh well, I think the digital twin is this. And I'm like, no, actually you can't really have a digital twin without unified namespace. And so that's just a little sidebar. But let's talk about supply chain AI, and why don't we just kind of go into uh, what what Mariana does, right? What does your product do?
Yeah.
Because that was one question. Someone said they went to your website, they couldn't understand what exactly you guys do. So,
Yeah.
where are you guys? What problem are you guys solving? And then we can kind of go into supply chain AI and. Oh,
Maybe it may be a little bit easier just to briefly say that so we've got two main products, and there's a couple different spin-offs or niches in those product lines. But let's just focus on the two that are the main products. One is for manufacturing, and this is for predictive maintenance, OEE, adaptive control on manufacturing process. And then the second product is supply chain. And internally, and also on our website, we call it network visibility and risk management. So ultimately, the concept is the same for both products. So what we're doing is we are connecting all the different, and this is the thing that is so fundamental to everything that we talk about. There is only one digital twin. Whether or not your digital twin has all the information, that's the question. Do you have access to the ERP? Do you have access to the MES? Do you have access to the machine level streaming data? And if you have part of that, that's okay. You have part of the digital twin. But if you want the whole digital twin, you have to bring in all the information together. So in manufacturing, what we eventually want to do is we want to actually give you the genealogy of that product. We want to be able to tell you every single little tiny piece that's part of that production line, or even the raw core material that is making it. And we want to trace that thing throughout every single intermediate process, every single touch point, all the way to packaging and delivery. That's what the digital twin is on the manufacturing side. In the supply chain, it's the exact same thing. It's just that we're not on the supply chain side. We're not dealing with the intermediate processes that a material would go through in its production. We're more interested in the business in getting visibility and control on the business objectives that are important to the function and success of the company.
yeah.
So.
What's crazy is that's why it's hard, because once you start talking about supply chain, the lines of what is one business versus what is another business start to become blurred.
Oh yeah.
And there's a draw to want to become kind of focus on that aspect of one's business. We've talked to a few guests on the podcast before that seem to really focus on that. But this is talking about becoming a platform and transforming the way you do business with your with your customers and with your upstream suppliers, right?
Yeah.
We say, hey, you need to transform yourself first before you need to have that infrastructure in place yourself, then go upstream and downstream, and you'll probably be the one to help your clients transform the way that they do business.
Yeah, to an
So,
extent.
but it's kind of neither here nor there. But that's why I like that you guys are definitely on board with unified namespace approach, and you guys are bringing in a new data set that we haven't really had access to before, which is, one thing you're talking about was like tariffs, this is a scheduling AI software, right? This is a shipment and logistics. Like it sorts. So that's what I was saying. Like the lines of what is one company and what is another company start to become blurred. But, yeah.
And I could add on that. So one of the things that people often ask us is, how does this work, or do we need an ERP, or is it replacing the ERP, or do we need a data lake, or does it replace the data lake? And there's always like questions like, is it complementary, or is it competitive with something that I've already built? And the truth of it is that it's completely complementary. So there's a comment here about Robex Scheduler. There's going to be other people that have different other types of scheduling or management softwares for supply chain. So our technology sits on top or amongst all the other systems, right? So we're not replacing the ERP, we're not replacing the MES, we're not replacing your warehouse management system. We are simply tying into the unified namespace, or from our perspective, we just think of it as like the enterprise digital twin. And we're ingesting that information from ultimately from its source, and then we're going to automatically contextualize and harmonize that information. So one of the things that is very, very common in the conversations that I have with people is, I want to do this, but geez, I don't know, my data's a mess. And let me tell you, what company isn't a mess on data? And to be quite honest, if any of us could look on our home hard drive and say they have an organized pictures file and they have an organized place where they put all their documents, I'm sure you could find areas where your own computer is a mess. So if that's a mess, can you imagine what an enterprise looks like? So the trick is that there's a lot of different tools out there that can help people master their data to try to harmonize and unify and correct all this stuff. And what we're trying to share with the market is that effort is absolutely beneficial. Apart from all that effort, if you want to spend the next 4 years, 5 years doing that, that's fine. And it's probably necessary. But if you want to look at specific business outcomes like optimizing your inventory, addressing purchase price variance across the entire enterprise, across multiple ERPs. So the only way you can do that is through connected data. And what we want to do is we want to serve we want to bring the result and not require companies to be lost in using tools to try to manage this themselves. That's why the core of our technology is all about bringing the connected data together automatically. And that's the difference. And again, there's nothing wrong, and it's definitely good to produce and put together a data lake. And we're going to work with that data lake. But ultimately, that's going to take some time, and it may not be the full solution. And even with a data lake, it doesn't ensure that you're going to have the interrelated connectivity between the context in that data. We'll create the context.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah,
for a particular outcome, right? So, and at the end of the day,
purchase
you get
price variance.
Yeah,
decreasing tariff costs.
those are some examples. Yeah. So,
how can someone learn more?
I mean, we've got some good information on the web. There's some information on my profile on LinkedIn, and certainly like just having a conversation. Again, the point is that there's some nuance to what certain companies are going after, and each individual kind of knows what they're tasked with, what their initiatives are, and what we bring to the table is this automatically captured digital twin, and we can actually pilot this to identify or diagnose the internal issues inherent in your data. Even if you said to me that your data is a mess, I would say if we did a pilot, then we could actually identify all the problems and also the areas that you don't have to worry. Rather than spending the next 5 years working on data, let's isolate the problem and then go after some corrective actions. That's what we do.
Excellent.
So that, a pilot is very, useful in that respect. It can actually roadmap what you need to do in the future.
One of the things that I found interesting was also you were saying that unlike maybe some other, not that there's anything wrong with raising venture capital, but you guys are completely self-funded, not venture capital,
No,
that was one question that did actually come up.
Organic growth. Yeah. I mean, we're profitable. We have really good customers. If you look at the founding members of the company, I mean, very intelligent individuals coming out of Johnson & Johnson and Intel and Google. We do tend to have a little bit of a lean towards process and batch manufacturing. Although we've done a lot with discrete manufacturing, the lean is towards process and batch because the founders of our company come from that environment where they're working with consumer goods, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and things like that. Also, by the way, the advantages of like taking multiple variables and inputs and automatically adjusting multiple variables at the same time for a continuous process manufacturing situation, the value of doing that is pretty large. It's like
Yeah.
tens to hundreds
Because
of
you're
millions of
yeah,
dollars.
because you're
So
you can basically be decreasing your costs
yeah,
while increasing your quality of your product or your yield. So you're
yeah,
creating like an exponential gain on,
yeah,
what it is that you're doing.
yeah, and
Just
also
from just from the pilot. When you tie that into a
yeah,
full complete digital transformation,
yeah.
the it's the it doesn't make sense to not do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And I think pharmaceutical is moving more towards continuous, but there's still some, bit of a batch process. But even there, I mean, it's all about forecasting. So,
Okay. Can you answer this one from Cheryl?
oh, what's going on?
Can you give
Can
us
you
a
give
yeah?
us
Can you get maybe you're about to go into?
oh,
Can you give us a use case?
yeah, sure. So there is a very large pharmaceutical leader, and if we want to have like a private conversation, I can go through all the different references. All this stuff I can reference. I just don't want to name drop because it's kind of lame. But a large pharmaceutical manufacturer, and we helped them digitize tons of paper records. Okay, contextualized all of that information into basically like a Google-like searchable database that was connected with their enterprise. So the harmonization is taking a record. Is it structured data? So it's coming from a database of some kind, or is it unstructured? Is it an image? Is it text? Is it handwriting? Is it a checkbox where someone, it's not digital, analog. It's an analog input. That is what harmonization is. And so we need to bring all that together. And that's what we do. And we've had a lot of success doing that. I can talk about some of these use cases, but they, in the case of like Brexit, that basically
Mm,
that case led to like $12 million a month in savings because of tariff avoidance. And that's like the smaller scale. So if we talk about inventory management, for again a very large consumer products manufacturer and pharmaceutical organization. We unified multiple ERPs, multiple planning systems, multiple warehouse management systems, and we're able to identify over $400 million in waste and excess inventory, and that was within 18 months. So
excellent.
it's like it's crazy. It's crazy
So
the result.
I do. Oh, excuse me. Well, that's a little.
Yeah.
All right. I do actually have. So, guys, if you guys want to talk to Paul, I put your LinkedIn URL down in the comments or in
Yeah.
the description box. So feel free to reach out to Paul. I hope that's okay if they want to
Yeah,
learn more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's too much to cover every single detail in this format, and I'd be happy to talk about it openly, with anybody who was interested. Because
Excellent.
yeah, every company is different; they have their own nuance
Awesome.
requirements and
Awesome.
needs.
Um, and there's no affiliation. I just was doing my research, got on the phone with Paul, and then someone, like I said, someone from the Discord community had actually mentioned, "Hey, has anyone been using this?" So we thought it'd be a good idea to talk, bring you on the community spotlight. So thank you, Paul, and I'm bringing Vaughn back on because this is the part of the spotlight where we kind of transition into our community updates, and we do have a Q&A, a shortened version of the Q&A today. We have like actually two questions to get to, but like I said, if there are any more questions, let's see. Sailing said, what did Sailing say? Manual manufacturing assembly. We're looking for hardware software instruction that will interface with operators to provide a dashboard on a TV, playing with Raspberry Pis and micro switches now. Sailing, thanks for sharing. Definitely, if you're not already, join the Industry 4.0 community Discord. And with that said, I'm actually going to share my OneNote. Let's see. So where do you go? Share. Yeah, and again, this is Walker's last week on sabbatical. Thank you guys for hanging in there with Vaughn and I, and also some of the reruns. Okay, so there we go. Actually, all right. So I'm
Sweet.
gonna make this a little bit bigger here. Oh, perfect. You can actually see it and everything. This is beautiful. Let me see. All right,
Nice.
so this is our weekly live Q&A. Thank you guys for joining. We do this every week, Tuesday at noon Central. Haven't missed a week yet, so Um, Thank you, Paul, for coming on the spotlight today.
Absolutely.
There's Paul's LinkedIn URL. Thank you for dropping that in the chat, and then I'll drop it in the chat now. So channel updates. This is actually really big news, really exciting. So we've got 10,900 subscribers now on the YouTube channel, and we got 2,250 members of the Industry 4.0 community Discord. Again, join the community
Nice.
Discord. There'll be a link below. It's completely free to join. There's always people talking, sharing ideas. You have the 40 Labs channel, which people are sharing their demo labs. We got some interesting things coming with the IO Hub within that adding, we're adding the IO Hub to our demo board. So that'll be exciting. So make sure to join the Discord. And, guys, if you aren't already, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, helps out the channel. It's also right next to that like button. So this is a huge announcement. All right. So drum roll, please. We have two new channel sponsors that we wanted to announce. EasyVPN and Canary. So basically what that means for you guys is that the content in the month of September and in the month of October will be completely sponsored by EasyVPN and Canary respectively. So that means you guys are going to get better quality content and more updates more quickly. And we're also being able to reach a larger audience by partnering with EasyVPN and Canary. Quick shout out to our past sponsor, Phoenix Contact. Thank you for sponsoring the swag packs for our mentorship program. That was a huge success. And we're also doing the connecting the PLC next to the unified namespace workshop in the month of August. So if you are in our mentorship program, you'll, if you make sure to get that PLC next, and we're going to be doing that hands-on workshop with Walker.
Yeah. That's going to be exciting, actually.
Speaking of sponsors, so again, thank you, Phoenix Contact. Special shout out to the new channel sponsors, EasyVPN and Canary. We're also looking to get a few new sponsors. Right, we still got a few months, still got the month of August to fill, and also November, December. We're looking at filling those with channel sponsorships. Again, all of that sponsorship is going to go back into higher quality content for the community and to reach new audiences and to help us do more with less by helping you help manufacturers do more with less, right? Our mission here, again, is to save and create middle-class jobs by helping manufacturers do more with less. So if that mission resonates with you, you're an Industry 4.0 company, you want to apply for a sponsorship, feel free to book a call. There will be a link down below, or you can go to iiot.university/book a call, book-a-call, and there'll be a little selection. Make sure to select whether you're interested in mastermind, mentorship, or sponsorship, or you're interested in doing a DTMA. That really helps. I posted on LinkedIn last week. We had like 15 calls last week, and we've got a bunch this week. And those calls, there are a finite supply of them, so make sure to book that call quickly and get on our calendar. So we got a few training program updates. The mentorship program, we have 276 members. And as of last week, 3 have submitted their zipped VM. So thank you guys. We sent out an email to all the mentees, prompting you guys to submit your certificates for your step 1 training and also a zipped version of your VM. That's going to make it way easier for Walker to review. And you guys will be getting a Calendly link to get on Walker's calendar in order for that review session to come up. So as of right now, there's 3. You guys know who you are. I know who you are. You guys are epic, awesome. So thank you. Also happen to be mastermind program members. So a little update on our mastermind program. Back to step 2 courses. Step 2 courses are now available on iiot.university. Go ahead and check them out. I'm not going to say what they are, but if you are in part of the program, definitely go check that out. And we got some new development in that area. So stay tuned for new updates. The next launch of the mentorship program, things are going to be completely changed. So if you have not already joined, there's also a link to join the waiting list to join the mentorship program in the next cohort. But Mastermind available to join at any time. We do have 65 members, and we do have a goal of 99 members. You guys see that there? Yeah, so we have a goal of 99 members. At that point, we're going to either close it down or increase the price or do something, maybe launch a second cohort. But you do want to get in now. There'll be a link down below to book a call. We actually have a cloud session this, not 30th. So Friday, this July 30th at 8 o'clock Central, we have part 2 of our cloud layer training. This is also going to be with our expert community guest, Michael Brown. We're going to be doing AWS advanced training for manufacturing. So that'll be with our 65 mastermind members. If you are not a member of the mastermind program, you can just click the link below to join. Or if you have any questions about joining, you want to jump on a call with me or someone from our team, there'll be a link below. Book a call. Industry updates. If you guys do have any questions, leave them in the chat. We're going to get to the Q&A here in a second, but I did want to do a quick shout out for HiByte. So HiByte released their version 2.0. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. So this is a huge update for version 2.0 of the Intelligence Hub. Let me stop sharing here. So HiByte, for you guys, that if you're just new to our channel, HiByte creates a product called the Intelligence Hub. It is purpose built to create and manage your unified namespace, right? Your industrial namespace. Version 2.0 comes with the ability to centrally manage all hubs through a single central hub. So this gives you distributed capabilities. There's a few bug fixes. They've added support for users and roles, which allows access control on what a user can view or modify. That's a big question. Everyone always asks, if I give this person access to HiByte to make changes, what are they, is there any security involved with that? The answer is yes. They've added support for logging user level audit. Guys, if you guys haven't caught on to this, HiByte is basically your industrial data ops tool. There's actually a video we're going to be filming called Industrial Data Ops. What is industrial data ops and what is a data model? And, so we're going to be kind of going into some additional training on this specific topic, but basically industrial data ops, you're going to be empowering your edge employees to manage your data, right? The employee of the future is not just going to be managing a machine, starting and stopping it. The employee of the future is going to manage that machine's information model, and they're going to be doing it in HiByte, right? That's why the HiByte adoption rate is just taken off. So, they've updated an MQTT connector to support the retain flag. There's a lot of updates, but version 2.0 is one of their biggest announcements yet. 1.4 was a big deal last year, Walker said. So 2.0, he dropped it in the Teams chat. He's like, make sure to tell this to the community that HiByte Intelligence Hub version 2.0 is out. Go check it out. So thank you, HiByte. Let's see, moving on here. Forty Solutions. Okay, so I wanted to go over this Discord comment because it comes up like every week. Everyone's joining the Discord server. It's every week. New people every day. They introduce themselves, and sometimes they'll have a question. The Discord's a great place to ask your questions. But this came up. W Dragon said, let's see if I can blow this up here. So W Dragon said, "Hi, I'm new in the OT space and learning about it. I'm working towards introducing IIoT into the space." And so basically, John Forboard, thank you so much for coming up with this great response. John, I really appreciate it. But so I wanted to give you a shout out. Here's a few notes on the UNS from John. So UNS is a single source of truth, and it is the structure and events of a business. UNS is not a relational database. Point number 3, you can have layers of the UNS throughout layers of the organization. The UNS is omnipresent, right? You can create a tiered UNS structure. The UNS contains current states. I'd also add current state could include a prediction of future state.
Correct.
The UNS is not a time series database. If you want a time series database, look at Canary, right? Look at Pi and then figure out, then you'll realize all the reasons why you want to look at Canary, right? So UNS is not a time series database, right? The most common implementation of UNS uses one or more MQT brokers to host the UNS. This is correct. Often what we're seeing is a plant level UNS and an enterprise level UNS. This enables you to have both cloud contextualization across many factories while also having a local UNS to enable innovation on the plant floor, enable your edge employees to solve problems, and also roll enterprise data back down to the local layer. The UNS, next point, UNS in essence is a concept and can be implemented in a number of ways. UNS is not a software, neither Ignition nor HiBi is the UNS. They can create your UNS, but that's an important distinction. But there are software tools that can be used to build and manage a UNS or parts of it, right? The UNS is an architectural tool, and we architect solutions that the solution fits the problem, right? We don't try to push a square peg in a round hole. We architect a solution to fit the problem using the unified namespace. In the UNS, all your smart assets and business applications are nodes in the ecosystem. Publishing and subscribing to the UNS, beautiful. Everything's a node in an ecosystem: people, hardware, software, machines. Next point, UNS is built on a technology stack that meets minimum technical requirements. What does that mean? So report by exception, edge driven, lightweight, open architecture. We actually just got new icons developed that are the icon. We created icons just for our minimum technical requirement, the pillars of IIoT. That's another video that's coming out in the next month, the pillars of IIoT. And so we actually created, like they're like almost like a periodic table of elements. What are the ingredients, the elements of an IIoT infrastructure? Like, we're trying to drive home the point, and we're trying to, it's actually a video we've never created. What are the 4 minimum technical requirements pillars, right? We've talked about it all the times in our streams and mentioned it in other videos, but we're creating a video what are the 4 minimum technical requirements, the IIoT pillars. Yeah, every smart application and business application are nodes in an ecosystem, publishing and subscribing to the UNS. Next point, the UNS is built on a technology stack, meets your minimum technical requirements. We talked about that. The UNS is the integration, UNS is the integration layer, not a integration layer. It's the integration layer. It's not a middleware, right? A middleware implies that there's other data silos in the rest of the organization. UNS is the integration layer that you want to use. It's not necessarily saying you have to use MQTT, right? We've talked about this all the time. It's a technology-driven approach that meets your minimum technical requirements, the 4 that we preach. UNS is constantly evolving and evolves as the business evolves, or new nodes are added to the ecosystem. That's why we always are adding new training around the UNS and architecture. And the UNS structure can be, in theory, built on any structure as long as it's applied consistently throughout. It is, however, usually based on ISA 95 Part 2. That's another video we're doing. The ISA 95 structure, that's not next month, but that one will be coming in. Like, we're going to go a deep dive on all of the industrial protocols, including ISA 95 and ISA 101, even though those aren't really protocols. They're more like standards. But again, thank you. Thank you, EasyVPN, and thank you, Canary, for allowing us to be able to create all of these new videos that are coming out on the channel, and also give, the community an opportunity to feature. We're actually talking with some of the sponsors, and there's not really a better, like, we're actually helping them save money by getting the word out about their product. There's not enough, like, they looked at the CPMs of what Facebook is charging for ads, and they're like, hey, partnering with 4.0 is going to be doing more with less. So, thank you. But last but not least, yeah, that's it. So thank you. I do want to go into, Vaughn, the last question of the day, which is our DTMA AMA. So I do want to cover, we've been in a lot of DTMA sales calls this week and last week, and got a lot of questions. So I do want to cover, like, what is the most common DTMA question that we've been getting? Also, if there's anyone in the community that has a question about our DTMA process, leave it in the chat and we'll see if we can get to it. And this will be the last question of today. So Vaughn, what would you say?
So what would I say would be the most asked question that we get about DTMAs? So one of the main questions is, who is driving the initiative, right? Is it operations? Is it people from the plant floor, or is it IT? Is it C-suite executives, right? One of the things that we've seen is, everybody out there has been tasked with a digital transformation team, right? We know we have to digitally transform. You guys at the top have talked about it. Hey, this is something we need to do. So that gets tasked to a director, right? And says, hey, go find out what digital transformation is. So one of the things that we've realized is most people don't know what digital transformation is, right? And don't understand, number one, what it is, number two, how it relates to their business. And it's something that we've seen over and over again. So that's one of the things that we've really tried hard to do, is to educate the community is what is digital transformation, right? What is Industry 4.0? And so through that DTMA process, and that is one of the things that we go through. So that's one of the core things that we teach in every single meeting. Walker or any of the other solutions architects, they're touching on that every single meeting. So the internal champions, the ones that are going to be in every meeting with us, they're going to hear that same thing over and over and over. And it's not to be redundant. It's to change your mindset, right? You got to have a mindset change. Because before you can transform your business, you have to transform yourself. So I would say that that's one of the key things that keeps coming up is, who's driving this initiative. But the one where you're really going to see the most value, obviously, and this is what we say all the time, is innovation happens on the plant floor, right? We say that all the time. The smartest people in your business are the people on your plant floor. They're the people operating your machines. They're the people that are making your widgets. Those are the folks that are going to save you millions of dollars, right? Because they know they're the ones that do it every single day.
So if you don't include them in the DTMA process, and they don't even know what the unified namespace is, much less how to create value with it, then
correct.
The proof of concept, you could do a proof of concept and you could even capture value, but the scalability and the implementation of the iterative development process doesn't catch like wildfire. It doesn't go viral as much.
No, if it doesn't resonate with your operator, your operations guys, they're not going to use it, right? They're going to work around it.
The biggest question I think we get is, how do we convince I'm on board? How do I convince my boss, or how do I convince, everyone to kind of get the time onto it?
Mm-hmm.
So how are we responding to that?
So, one of the things that we say all the time is, we're going to spend our time winning the results war, right? Not fighting theoretical battles. So that's why it's so important when you get into a DTMA, when you're doing that assessment process, you don't want to spend time trying to gain buy-in, right? You have to have an internal group that is bought in, they're all about it.
Navy SEAL team.
Correct. You get in there. Those are the people. That's the line or the part of the plant that we're going to do that proof of concept in. We're going to go and we're going to get that low hanging fruit, right? That way we get that proof of concept. You're showing quick return to value.
Right. You identify all the roadblocks. You identify all the roadblocks in the DTMA that you were going to identify in the proof of concept. You've
Correct.
Just shortened it down to 1 or 2 weeks to overcome those challenges versus having a delay your proof of concept for potentially this is pilot purgatory, right?
Correct. Absolutely correct. And those roadblocks could be anything. I mean, it could be, it could be infrastructure. It could be IT. It could be your IT regulations. It could be people. And a lot of times it's going to be people. And that's one of the things that we utilize during that process, right? So that's why we go in as a team. So you don't just have a solution architect. You have myself, you have Travis, you have other individuals that are in that meeting representing, 4.0 and the DTMA team. And part of our job is we want to assess the people in the meeting. We want to see what those potential barriers could be. We want to see who our potential champions are going to be, right? So that's very, very pivotal for the success of your proof of concept and then the scalability, right?
Yeah. Speaking of scalability, I want to create a certificate. I want to know, who within our mastermind program that has gone through the DTMA training is ready to do a DTMA. I want to do a certificate or something, some sort of award or recognition for saying so and so has successfully completed a 4.0 solutions DTMA for their clients. There's actually of those 3 people that submitted their practical test for review, I know at least 2 of them are ready to do that. In fact, they've been asking to do it, and they're ready. So like, we're going to connect them with the ability to do that. But there's one more, actually a lot of people within our mastermind program that I feel like they're ready to take that next step and do a DTMA, right? Through our process, through our workbook. But where was I going with that? Oh, shit. I had a really good point. No, like, so yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to teach people our methodology and scale the DTMA process to more people, right? The DTMA is a product that both 4.0 solutions offers for manufacturers, but we only offer it in a limited capacity, right? We're actually booking out the rest of the year right now. But we're trying to teach our 65 members in our mastermind. We have taught them how to do a DTMA per our standards. What are the sessions? What are the topics of each session? What are the questions? We kind of give you like this playbook, and then you do that over the course of a week or 2, including 5 core meetings with your different cross-functional groups. If anyone actually wants to know more about the DTMA process, feel free to book a call. I can give you also access to our DTMA private webinar with your email. So, we actually had aired it a while back. We gave anyone with their email access to that. So if you guys want to book a call, learn more about the DTMA, we're free to answer your questions. And I can also grant you access to that DTMA 1-hour webinar. We only give that to people that we trust. So that's the deal with that. I hope you guys, but
I do want to address Omar's question though, where it says,
oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. I was actually on a real quick, and then we'll address Omar's question. We were on a DTMA sales call earlier last week, and I brought up the fact that we have someone in our mastermind group that is in that geographical location on the other side of the world that would also be able to either do the DTMA with us or be able to deliver it him or herself. And that actually was like a very solid point, that the client that was working with us trusted us that being on the other side of the world wasn't going to be an issue. In fact, whether we do the DTMA with Walker or we, empower our mastermind community to deliver that DTMA for, this client, either way, going on, past the sale, right? There's the whole system integration and support. And that's where, we're trying to connect these opportunities to where, they're needed most, right? That's the whole power of our community. So everyone that's in our community has been able to, make a difference. So we do appreciate that. Every like, every subscribe, every comment, every share helps us on our mission of saving and creating middle-class jobs and doing more with less. So, so we answered Omar's question. You answered again.
Right. So he asked, is DTMA, is it a strategy or an action plan? So first off, Walker says this all the time. So digital transformation is a strategy, right? It's not a project. First step of digital transformation. What is your digital transformation strategy, right? If you don't have a strategy, stop. Call a meeting. Let's hash out what this digital strategy is, right? What is the action plan? So through the DTMA process and gleaning all of this context, we're also trying to find out, each of these groups, what are they missing? What's missing, right? How can we help? So through gleaning all this information, at the end of the process, you're going to get a roadmap. You're going to get a maturity score, and you're going to get a roadmap with suggested proof of concept, right? That's your action plan. Does it just mean that we're going to implement a pilot project or a proof of concept? No, you may have to do personnel changes. You may have to put people in, chief of digital transformation. You may have to assign new tasks or new roles and responsibilities. So through that, number one, you have to have a strategy, but through that process, that's where you get your action plan.
Go. I figured out what I was going to say. In addition to that, like global community that we're creating of people that are ready to do DTMAs per our standard. Now I just forgot again. No. Dude. All right. No. All right. So it's about this live stream. It's something that I need to mention before we get off this call. It's probably the last thing that I'll mention. Who is driving the initiative? Most common DTMA question. New sponsor shout outs. No, it's not any of those. It's
Mastermind.
no, it's not even that. No, it's but dude, I'll think about it in a second. All right. Paul said he would love to understand your standard for DTMA.
Oh, absolutely. That's Paul, get with me and you and I can discuss that, man.
It's not the fact that Master DTMA is both the product that we offer as 4.0 and as something you'll learn as going through our other product, which we offer, which is Mastermind. In Mastermind, we teach you how to do a DTMA. It's not that. I mean, that is true, but it's more about, holy crap, dude. What was I going to say, dude? Oh man, this is going to really, oh shoot. Zach, you're losing it. Sorry. No, it's just like, this was an action-packed, this was an action-packed episode. It's not on my notes, so maybe it's not that important. I'll think of it. I'll write down my notes and we'll get to it next time. Next week, be prepared for Walker Mastermind this Friday. Book a call. Calls are filling up fast, or just, sign up now. We'd love to have you guys join.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate everybody.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
You got it.
Gorilla 76. Give a shout out. Gorilla 76. All right. They're an industrial marketing agency. So they do industrial marketing for B2B manufacturers, right? Mm-hmm. Something that manufacturers clearly, they were tasked with digitally transforming. They failed to do that. You also task them with marketing their business or their product or their service offering, and they just don't know what to do, right? And one of the things, it ties into our roadmap, is Gorilla 76. They offer an industrial marketing roadmap. And their founder posted a thing the other day. He said, we stopped pitching for free. Like, we stopped doing pitches about 3 years ago. Now what they do is they have like they have a lot of free content, right? Mm-hmm. They have an application form to book a call. And in that call, they qualify you to do an industrial marketing roadmap, right? It's a high ticket consulting engagement, much like what we offer with a DTMA, but we don't if we just offered a pre-made solution, there would be no need to do consulting, right?
Correct.
And if we just did consulting for free, we would never be able to afford top talent. That's what they said too. Like, if we just met and pitched for a few hours, whether you're a whether you're a solutions architect or whether you're an industrial marketing expert, if you're meeting with a client for more than 30 minutes and you're not being paid, you're doing free consulting. I don't care. I mean, unless you're doing some sort of podcast or collaboration. And Paul's laughing. No, you're doing free consulting, especially if you got a lot of content out there that already clearly explains what you do, right? So definitely, I like that model, right? That's the model we've chosen to do at 4.0 Solutions. We don't do free consulting. We offer an initial engagement, an easy path to work with us. You don't have to work with us after doing a DTMA. Many clients choose to do work with us after that, but more so from like, if you're a system integrator or if you're like, you're in charge of doing that digital transformation from the end user, we recommend the DTMA as a screening and filtering process to maximize the success of the project or, working with that client, either internal or external. So that's it. I'm not losing it, Brandon. Not losing it.
I knew it would come back to you. So I will say one more thing about the DTMA, and for folks that want to try to undertake one of these initiatives yourself, right? One of the main things that you have to remember is when you take this approach that you're wanting to help this business transform, Your job, if you share the values we share, your job is to assess what these people need, right? You're looking for how you can help them. We're not going in trying to sell you something. And that's what we repeat over and over and over. And it's very, very important that folks understand that, right? You're not going in trying to sell something. You're trying to ascertain how you can help transform this business and keep people working and keep moving forward with not only your mission, but the mission of this company, right? So if you're trying to help your clients, your customers, their best interest is your best interest. And that's one thing that the way that we approach DTMAs holistically is we're trying to ascertain how we can help. We're not going in trying to sell you something. And that's one of the main things that I stress to people, because we get a lot of those questions, right? How do you sell this? You don't. You're trying to help people. Not everybody can be helped, right? Walker says it all the time. But not everyone can be helped. And a lot of times it's because they can't even get out of their own way. But our job, your job, if you share your values with us, is to help these manufacturers digitally transform, help these people, be able to progress themselves, progress their business, increase their knowledge, increase their manufacturing capabilities. That's what you're there for. So that's kind of what I'll leave it with.
Yeah. And last question, Johan asked about joining Mastermind. Can you elaborate if you think one should complete mentorship training program as a prerequisite? This depends. If you're interested about your current situation, I'd be happy to jump on a call with you and offer my personal advice for you. It's about maybe 60% of the time I'd say, I think Mastermind is the right program for you. It depends on your goals. If you're not looking to move forward quickly and advance your career and lead digital transformation, then I'm going to say, hey, go through mentorship and see if this is even right for you, right? Some people, it's not often, but sometimes people join mentorship and they kind of decide, hey, this isn't really, I don't want to be going through this technical training. But to answer your question, it's not actually a prerequisite. You can actually go through Mastermind without going through mentorship and understand from an architectural standpoint and doing the digital transformation and maturity assessment. You don't need to know how to software code in order to do a DTMA.
Correct.
You do need to have full stack fluency. So, but there's kind of a spectrum there, right? You're either more hands-on technical or more high-level architecture.
Absolutely.
But that's why we have a full stack of people that we work with to develop these solutions. I was talking with a mobile developer from Germany the other day. He has experience in IoT and he wants to get into IoT. I'm like, yeah, if you want to do that, then I do think that we can help you get there, right? We can help you through our program do what it is you want to do. So that's what our program is. That's what our goal is. Thanks for asking the question. Leave a link to book a call, and see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.